Dennis has got Google Earth up on the screen, and we're just looking down on the traffic island, and as he said, it's a teardrop shape.
We knocked, where that bush is there, we more or less knocked off the top 2 foot of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But with the spread of it down there like this, from that point out to there, you're talking like a 15-foot elevation from there to there.
Okay.
You know, it actually goes down. So to my mind, that would like account for the fact that this thing was spreading out as it was going.
Okay.
Right, this is quite a steep bank, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But now when we were there earlier today, there are buildings, houses and stuff going in this direction, and the school down in this direction, okay?
Well, the block of flats
it's been sort of filled in, if you see what I mean.
Right.
It's not as steep as it used to be. There's been stuff put in there that's been disturbed and changed. I think underneath our stone, originally, if we went back 3,000 odd years ago,
mm-hmm.
there would be some kind of entrance in this area in the bank.
Right. And you've done like an artist's impressions of what you think that might look like.
I've done an artist's impression of what I think it could look like.
Could you just point out now, Anthony, where the block of flats is that they moved from the traffic island?
They're gone. The block of flats there was one going there.
Uh-huh.
And one across there.
So they've been knocked down since?
At the bottom of the bank,
Right.
There was one at the bottom of the bank and one in this direction. Both of them have been demolished.
But originally one of them was meant to be bang
This
on
one,
yeah.
that one
Mm-hmm.
ran down there, was originally intended to run straight across the top of that island.
Right.
There's a bog standard rule in the building trade. If you can get rid of something, make a feature of it. And it applies in this case.
So what is the name of this place that we're standing now at the moment, Anthony?
The village,
Yeah.
Garndiffaith.
And what does that mean? What does that translate as?
It's got various meanings, one of which can mean the place of multitudes of ancient burial mounds.
Right. And you think that the focal point of that is where we're standing now, or the entrance point is something?
The focal point of this entire valley is where we are standing right now.
Right. Right, we're actually standing on top of this little roundabout, which is sort of, well, it's not a roundabout as such, it's more like an island in the middle of an estate.
When they built this estate, they had to remove all the earth that had been put in here a long time ago. That was the first thing that had to be done with earth moving machines in order to find solid ground to build the buildings on. They had to dig it all back out, and that's how it got discovered. You had the pyramid-shaped stone buried, then a lead slab placed on top of it, which I think was put there for other people to dig this up again in the future. Then about 3 to 4 foot of earth placed on top of that. And we're talking about quite a large area, yeah? I'm talking hundreds of tons of soil was brought into this place in ancient times to bury whatever is under our feet.
And they also built a containing wall
They built
around the side of the hill.
They built the wall first and then filled it up with earth.
Right. So can you just tell us where you suspect the entrance might be and why you think it's there?
I suspect it's directly beneath my feet. This lead slab and this stone were definitely buried a long time ago. Now, why on earth anybody would want to do that, the only reason I can think of is that there's something underneath. I can give you pretty good proof when we go further in that direction to the northwest that there actually is an underground cavern system underneath our feet.
Okay, now I'm just going to pan round and just show the edge of the island. So we've got quite a slope leading down to this road here. So you think there may have been some kind of large stone over the entrance or something like that, Anthony?
Like a doorway.
A doorway.
More
okay.
like a doorway.
Okay.
I've got some drawings we can look at later on, and you'll understand more what I mean then.
Right. So you think there's maybe an entrance point underneath?
Underneath that is where I think the entrance to this big underground chamber lies,
Right.
underneath that stone.
Right.
Or that stone could be the capstone of it, if you take my meaning, with
Yeah.
a doorway underneath it. Ancient holy place sacred to the dead.
Right. Okay.
In this valley there are hundreds of ancient burial mounds, some of which we shall take a look at very soon.
Right.
Walk around the edge of this house and estate and there are still vestiges of that wall left.
Right. Anthony's just explaining where this ancient wall was, and he said it was along the line of these trees here. So these trees are on one of the maps, I think the 1960s map that you've got, and you think that as I say, the wall was adjacent to those trees.
It was adjacent to those trees.
Right, and we're going to see if we can find some remnants of the wall at some point. Because obviously we definitely know there's a wall there because it's in an 1800s map, is that right?
Exactly.
Alright, let's go and have a look at this other side. Right, I'm just following Anthony now. I've had a look at the little island, and he's going to take us round to the other side where there's, I think, possibly remnants of this containing wall.
Beyond this fence, this is where the dome-shaped round hill started from.
Right.
Where we're going to walk now is the edge of the round dome-shaped hill.
Okay. Yeah.
And it once started way up there where those houses, or this one on the right is.
Mm-hmm.
And we're off in this direction. This has been destroyed, this part.
Right.
If you look at the earth, you can see probably vestiges of bits of stone sticking out here and there. But it's intact from the other side of this house.
Right.
It's
So
intact.
we're going to walk along. So I've got the first part. So someone sort of so this is part of the ancient wall here, yeah.
This is part of the ancient wall. This is where it starts.
Right. So someone's actually attached it onto their breeze block garage. Right. All right.
Okay.
And there's a newer wall behind it there, which is the back wall of these houses, gardens. This is part of it here, Anthony, is it as well?
This is part of it.
Okay.
Perimeter wall.
Oh, perimeter wall.
Of what I believe was the temple area.
Right. So there was another wall that was retaining all the earth then.
And yet that's farther up in there.
Right. Okay.
Which I shall point out to you on the map.
Right. So this is a more modern wall with this fence on top. Yeah, someone's built this in the back of the house.
Now we're coming back to the ancient wall
back to the
again.
ancient wall again. Okay. All right.
Now, just over there, that's a burial mound. You
Okay.
can see it running along there. We can't get a very good view of it from this point, but that is a burial mound. I shall show you some more. You can see more of this ancient walling.
And this is the ancient wall here as well.
This
yeah?
is the ancient wall. It's absolutely enormous. You can see part of the mound there. That behind the farm building is an ancient burial mound.
Right. Okay. And what about this building here?
This is,
this ruined building here? Is this
I would date this at around about 1870s.
this one? Okay.
Thereabouts.
So yeah, we've got a shot of it going right the way around this corner. I don't suppose it's easy to date a wall.
This in the background is all ancient walling as well.
So this is so that's another ancient wall running along here.
You can see the side of the burial mound there.
Right.
You'd have to be stood on
So
top.
this is a burial mound with a wall going around the edge.
Burial
Yeah?
mound with a wall going around the edge.
Right. Okay.
There'll be more of these to be seen in a short while.
All right. So. Okay, I'll follow you then, Anthony. Lead the way.
You know, this has been much abused and partly destroyed over the years. Don't forget, I believe, that this wall that we're looking at now, and in fact all of these walls in the background,
Oh, there's a squirrel.
are about 3,600 years of age.
Right.
So that considered, they've stood up to the test of time pretty well, considering that there's no mortar in them.
Yeah.
This is a feature that you need to look at. There's no mortar in any of these constructions.
Yes.
Now, there's another part of the wall.
Right, just there. Which is sort of going down the hill.
Going down the hill,
And then
going
there's
across.
another one.
It's divided up into sections.
Right. So this wall is on pretty much every map as far back as you can find, is it?
It's on every map as far back as I can find.
So this is going right round the perimeter or the edge of this V-shaped hill, yeah? This wall.
Yep, this goes right around the edge. If you look at the size of these stones and the amount of stones, it's taken a lot of work to put this together. As you can see, the width of this thing is quite phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah, it's not just a wall for
It's not just a wall to keep
farming or something like that.
animals inside.
So you lived round here when you were a child, is that right?
I spent the first 38 years of my life in this place.
Right. And you said that as you grew up, you often wondered what this old wall was, and it seemed odd that the inner wall had all been filled in with earth. It didn't seem to make sense.
It didn't seem to make sense at all. It's an enormous amount of work. To what purpose?
Yeah, it looks like
Some sort
You've
of
got
doorway or a gateway.
got sort of a
Later I'll be able to show you some
we'll come through it.
better
So there's
examples.
kind of a step down there, and if I turn around, maybe even a little building of some sort with
Maybe a building.
an entrance through it.
The major problem with this site is that everything is spread out so far.
Okay.
That mountain over there,
Well, it's got like a plateau on top of it. Yeah.
yep, Mynydd Garndiffaith, and it's got one of the largest underground cave systems in Britain underneath there.
Okay.
That's easily verifiable. Now, we've come through some sort of gateway in this direction, because here's the corner of something very big.
So we've kind of walked in a semicircle around
We've
where
walked in a
where
very large,
the island is.
yep, we've walked in a very large semicircle around our roundabout, shall we say.
Yeah. So is there anything like in local histories about this wall, Anthony? Like in the local
Nothing
libraries
at
or-
all. Nothing at all. No one knows anything about it.
Okay. So
Now this place
is a very steep gorge down here.
is a sinkhole.
Sinkhole for
A place where an enormous patch of earth have collapsed into an underground system.
right. Yeah, you
Look at
can
it.
see the side of it there. Let me just film it.
This is rubbish
Yeah, obviously.
that locals have thrown in here over the years. But this circular hole have sunk into the earth.
Uh-huh. So this is a clue that you think there's underground
There
systems
is a
in this
massive
area.
underground system in this area, yeah.
Okay.
There are lots of these on the other mountain.
Right.
There's only a couple. This is the biggest one on this side.
Uh-huh.
But on the other side of the mountain, there are enormous volumes of them,
Right.
ranging from little ones to big ones this size.
Right.
And there are caves further up the valley on this side.
Right.
So I'm thinking that in that direction,
Mhm.
from this point back to our roundabout,
Uh-huh.
is probably an enormous cave.
Right.
And I think that this place is a good contender for one of the places where they put their precious items, their treasures, shall we say.
Mhm. Okay.
And that's what I think the old thing about burying this lead slab on top of the marker stone is all about.
Right.
There's a very sad looking pond, but when I was a young lad there was a massive wall around this, and that's on the map too.
Alright.
So I think this is a holy place, a sacred well or a sacred spring. You can see vestiges of masonry walls. This had a wall completely around it, and I think this is a special place.
So this is like a bog.
It looks like a bog now, but once upon a time it was a fairly deep pond,
Right.
surrounded by one of those walls.
Right.
And I think this is a place where in ancient times they would have venerated whatever deity they thought sacred to water.
Right. Okay.
So it could well be there may be things in there,
Right.
offerings and such like,
Right. Okay.
which is something I'd like to investigate at some point.
Alright.